Some warriors fight for justice, some fight for survival, some fight because they have something to protect, but there are those who fight because it is the only thing they have left. Calcaro represents that kind of existence in the world of Wuthering Waves, a world fractured by the lament and shaped by constant conflict. Survival often comes at a cost. For some, that cost is comfort. For others, it is identity. For Calcaro, it feels like that cost was everything. He's not defined by hope. He's not guided by optimism. He is defined by action, by the path he continues to walk, even when that path isolates him from everything else. The first thing most people notice about Calcaro is distance, not physical distance, but emotional. He does not present himself as approachable. His posture is guarded, his tone minimal. His presence carries the weight of someone who has learned not to rely on others. Unlike characters who openly express emotion or build connections easily, Calcaro feels contained. Everything about him suggests restraint, not because he lacks emotion, but because he has chosen not to show it. This creates an immediate sense of mystery, because when someone reveals so little, every action begins to carry more meaning. Calcaro fits into a familiar but powerful archetype, the lone warrior, a figure who operates independently, often by choice, sometimes by necessity. This archetype exists across many stories because it reflects a specific kind of strength, self reliance, the ability to function without depending on others, but it also reflects a cost, isolation, because when someone chooses to walk alone, they lose the support that comes from connection. Calcaro embodies both sides of this archetype. His independence makes him effective, but it also separates him from the world around him. Calcaro's combat style reflects someone shaped by constant conflict. His movements are efficient, direct, there is no excess, no unnecessary motion. Every action serves a purpose. This kind of precision usually comes from experience. Repeated encounters, situations where mistakes carried real consequences. Over time, those experiences refine a person's approach. They remove hesitation, they eliminate wasted energy. What remains is pure function. Calcaro fights like someone who has learned that survival depends on efficiency. Unlike characters who express their strength through dramatic or flashy techniques, Calcaro's power feels controlled, contained. He does not need to demonstrate his abilities constantly. He uses them when necessary. This restraint creates a different kind of intimidation. Because opponents cannot easily predict the extent of his capabilities, they only see fragments, moments where his strength becomes visible. And those moments are enough to establish that he is dangerous. Characters like Calcaro often carry a past that is not fully revealed, a history shaped by conflict, loss, or survival in difficult conditions. Even without explicit details, his demeanor suggests someone who has experienced more than he is willing to share. That experience influences everything: how he moves, how he speaks, how he approaches others. People who have faced repeated hardship often develop a certain perspective. They become practical, focused, less concerned with ideals, and more concerned with outcomes. Calcaro reflects that mindset. One of the defining traits of solitary characters is their relationship with trust. For Calcaro, trust does not come easily, it is not given freely, it must be earned. This approach makes sense in a world where alliances can shift and danger can emerge unexpectedly. Relying on others introduces risk, and someone who has experienced betrayal or loss may choose to minimize that risk by limiting connection. However, this also creates distance because trust is necessary for deeper relationships. Without it, interactions remain surface level, functional, temporary. For some characters, words define their identity. For Calcaro, actions speak louder. Combat becomes a form of communication. Through movement, he expresses intent. Through precision, he demonstrates control. Through efficiency, he reveals experience. This silent communication reinforces his character. He does not need to explain himself. His actions provide all the necessary information. Okaro's abilities suggest a balance between raw power and disciplined control. Too much power without control leads to recklessness. Too much control without power limits effectiveness. He exists at the intersection of both. His strikes carry force, but they are delivered with precision. His movements are fast, but never chaotic. This balance allows him to remain effective in a wide range of situations because he can adapt without losing stability. Isolation gives Calcaro freedom. He does not need to coordinate with others. He does not depend on external support. He can act independently. But isolation also creates limitations. Without allies, every challenge must be faced alone. Every mistake must be corrected alone. Every burden must be carried alone. This duality defines his character. His independence makes him strong, but it also ensures that his path remains difficult. The world of Wuthering Waves does not produce characters like Calcharo by accident. It creates them. Through conflict, through instability, through constant pressure, individuals adapt to survive. Some form communities, some seek knowledge. Others, like Calcaro, refine themselves into weapons, not because they want to, but because it becomes necessary. He represents the result of a world that demands strength at all times. Despite his isolation, there's always the possibility that characters like Calcaro can change. Connection is not impossible, it is simply difficult. Trust can develop over time through shared experiences, through consistent actions, through moments where reliance becomes unavoidable. Whether Calcaro chooses to move in that direction remains uncertain, but the possibility exists, and that possibility adds depth to his character because it suggests that even the most solitary individuals are not completely disconnected from the world. Calcaro is not defined by ideals, he is not guided by grand speeches or emotional declarations, he is defined by action, by discipline, by the quiet determination to continue moving forward regardless of what stands in his way. In the world of Wuthering Waves, where chaos remains a constant threat, characters like Calcaro represent a different kind of strength. Not loud, not flashy, but reliable, precise, and shaped by experience. Because sometimes the most dangerous warrior is not the one who seeks attention. It is the one who walks alone, says nothing, and never hesitates when it matters most.